So I want to talk about Clacton because something about the whole situation feels kind of off. I mean, I still don't understand why Nigel Farage would call a by-election in the area. If he's to prove he's popular, you don't need to do that. And if it's to get ahead of the £5 million story, well, it's still going to follow you even if you win the general election, the by-election. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because I will talk about the fact that in Clacton, we seem to be going through some kind of political shift.
If you're going to have a midlife crisis, you might as well enjoy it.
So, ever since the Clacton by-election got announced, it's kind of been treated as anything but a proper by-election. Because what do the other major political parties decide to do? They decide to not run, and they just collectively decide to sit this one out. Now look, I completely understand the strategy, I do. Of course they don't want to hand Nigel Farage a sort of big theatrical moment. Of course they don't want to turn it into a headline event which just suddenly benefits him. I get that. But the people of Clacton still deserve a choice. Not a curated experience of two. Not a, oh, this is the best that we can do under the circumstances. I'm really sorry, guys. They deserve a choice. And instead, we're kind of deciding that democracy can be a bit selective when it's inconvenient.
This is fine.
Because if your entire job is representation and your response to a by-election is, we'd rather not partake, then what exactly are you saying to the people who live there? And look, I understand that some people are saying this isn't really a proper by-election, even though it is a proper by-election, because the chance that there will be one in September or in later in the year, which, okay, I completely understand. But let's say you're a political party and you decide to make that decision. You decide you're not going to put a candidate in, you're going to step away from it. You're being clean, disciplined, and principled. So you have one job. Do nothing. Don't comment on it. Step away from it. And instead, because you can't help yourself, you decide to support the joke candidate. Because now, suddenly, we have this subplot where members of the political class are actually running under the banner of Count Binface. You didn't want to run a candidate from your own party because you didn't want to prove a point, but you wanted to be involved in the joke to prove a point. Like, when I jokingly said I wanted him to get a seat in Parliament, I didn't mean it quite like this.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You couldn't just quietly exit. You had to just keep popping your head back up like, don't worry guys, I'm still part of it, I get it, I'm fun. And this just fascinates me about politics because there is this desperation in the modern political class to be constantly seen as in on the joke. Like, politicians are the children who didn't quite get it at school and they've kind of grown up and they're just trying to prove themselves. They're still funny too. I'm watching it thinking, no, babe, because what you've done, without even realising it, is hand Nigel Farage the most perfect narrative. Not only does he get to say, look, they're so frightened of me, they've decided not to run against me, but he also gets to say, oh, and instead of running against me, they're backing a man in a bin. Do you not understand how bad for the optics this one is for you? You had one job. One job.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And now we're genuinely having conversations about whether or not Count Binface should be allowed to wear his bin into Parliament. This is where we are as a country now. And this is what I mean when I keep saying that politics has just become something of theatre. It's not even good theatre. This is chaotic improv. It's just a desperate need to prove to everyone that they still get it, that they're still fun. And meanwhile, the people of Clacton are just there, watching the joke at their expense. But they're the ones who are expected to take it seriously. And that's the bit that I keep coming back to. It's about how everyone else has behaved in response to him. It's just a lack of discipline, a lack of restraint, and this slightly embarrassing need to be constantly seen, even when the smartest move in the situation is just to be invisible.
Why are you the way that you are?
And then on the Nigel side, I've only briefly taken one glance at his campaign, but it doesn't really look particularly strong now. I mean, look at this clip.
Well, I'm here at Revved Up in Walton, and would you, Adam and Eve it, here is one of my leaflets from the campaign 2 years ago. Good start to the campaign.
Nigel. What are we doing here? Now, don't get me wrong. We all love a bit of Cockney rhyming slang in this country. It's frankly absolutely tragic that thanks to diversity, it's a dying language. But this just feels like cosplay.
How do you do, fellow kids?
It's that slightly forced, oh, look at me, I'm just like you energy. And then holding up the leaflet like it's some kind of historical artifact, like he's unveiling the Bayeux tapestry. Look at this photograph. It's been 2 years. 2 years. That's all. That is not ancient history. That is not some relic of a bygone political era. That's basically yesterday in Britain's infrastructure timelines. I mean, we're 1,099 years old. 2 years is nothing.
Vintage. So adorable.
But again, it's not even about whether you like Nigel or not. It's about this same constant thing of politics being so performative, everyone acting, everyone leaning into a version of themselves that can be sold, everyone trying to create a moment. And I'm just watching this wondering, can these people just be normal for 5 minutes? Just 5. No props, no accents, no, this is what I just found in my costume drawer, no, oh, look at this relic from 2 years ago. Just be a normal person. Because right now it just feels like the political theatre children got handed a country and they're like, right, jazz hands. And they took that really, really to heart. You didn't need to make that into a thing. And instead we've got this strange spectacle where the serious parties aren't running, but are still hovering in the background, endorsing the joke and just nudging the narrative along.
You mock my pain.
This is deeply, deeply unserious. And I think people feel that. And then, of course, all of this is happening while the country's attention is understandably somewhere else right now. I mean, the murder of Anne Widdecombe has been shocking and it's totally overshadowed this by-election. But it makes the by-election feel like an even bigger performance now. A weird kind of side plot that just shouldn't be happening at all. But I think what this by-election has taught me so far is that sometimes, ironically, the more you try to control the narrative, the more you end up building the platform for the person you were trying to avoid.
Ha ha, you fool! You fell victim to one of the classic blunders.
I just keep looking at this thinking Clacton deserved better than that. The people of Clacton deserve the opportunity to genuinely choose a candidate. And I think this is the bit that's just kind of starting to get to me more and more, because I think this is deeply insulting to the people of Clacton. Look, I get it. I completely understand why all the parties are looking at this going, this is Nigel trying to prove a point, throwing a hissy fit, fine. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But that doesn't actually change the reality on the ground. It's still a real by-election. They're still real people with real problems in a real place. And they're being treated like a prop in someone else's argument. And I don't even know if Nigel Farage is a good MP for them or not. I genuinely don't. I'm not trying to really make that point here. The point is, they should have the chance to decide that properly now. Not in X many months' time, just in case he has failed parliamentary conduct. I don't know. But they don't deserve this kind of weird, half-absent, half-ironic, slightly performative version of democracy, where everyone's kind of there, but also not really taking it seriously. And of course, it's the whole, well, you're going to get another one soon, but... So, this one just gets written off? This one doesn't count for them? We'll just do democracy properly next time? It feels like we're constantly being used as pawns in some bigger political game. And I think people are a lot more tired of that than politicians realise. Because it's not just Clacton, it's everywhere. It's this constant feeling that politics is happening to you, not for you. It's loud, it's performative, it's trying to be everywhere all the time. And you just want to look at them and go, can you please, for 1 second, disappear and do your jobs?
Why don't you just do your job? Do your job.
Without turning everything into a social media moment. Because not everything needs to be one. some things just need to work. Look, let me know what you think below with this whole by-election. I'm still really not sure I understand why it's happening. And obviously the murder of Anne Widdecombe has totally overshadowed it. And there is just so much to understand with it. But yeah, as always, let me know what you think below. I really, really value your opinion. And do think about giving me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.